Dun,
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 dun, dun, dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun, dun, dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun.
dun. Ben
That
Swallow.
sucked.
Oh
Dun,
my god.
dun, dun, dun,
All
dun.
right, well, welcome to the Geeks Among Us. I'm Tom.
No one did
Okay,
that.
okay. I'm just gonna start it off with I was
Oh,
not a part of that. Do not associate with me with that, as I was not a part of that god awful rendition of the beautiful Star Wars theme songs. This is Bobby. I was not a part of that. Do not associate me with that. I think I have to put the
Listen,
podcast
he's in
now.
the Geeks Among Us podcast, but he wants nothing to do
He's
with
acting
our
like we
shit.
have viewers.
All right, so you can
Viewers that care.
you can hear
I'm
there's
just
Jesse
I'm
and
just a
Ryan.
glorified viewer.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right. So Jesse, Ryan, and Bobby are here clearly, and Edwin is spectating, but he's playing Fortnite, so he's not going to be involved.
Man, you ruined the surprise. What if his voice just came in the middle of the podcast? That would be awesome. You just ruined it.
He wanted a shout out, so I gave him a shout out. I don't know if he's actually going to get involved. It's Star Wars.
I'll ever understand.
God damn it. All right, so our topic today, May the Fourth be with you. It's Star Wars.
So
And
I just want to throw this out there. Some of the most fun I've had in Star Wars is playing Star Wars Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
Star Wars: The Old Republic online. Star Wars: The Old Republic online. Best MMO ever.
Also,
only because I'm also doing a D&D campaign right now in my college. It's actually taking place in an hour, so I'm very hyped for it. I've been waiting for it all week. It's not Star Wars, but we're getting there.
nice. And we're finally talking about Star Wars because someone finally saw The Last Jedi.
Yeah, what can I say? People said it was bad. I said, okay, well then I don't want to see it, and I saw it. I'm like, you all lied to me.
Why do you trust people?
Yeah, The Last Jedi was great.
Yeah, Last Jedi was great. It wasn't a normal Star Wars movie, but it was still great.
All right, and then there's Bobby, who looks very upset.
So many people that said that he closed off the series to a sequel and said he set it up perfectly for a sequel. For the next movie.
Yeah, he did.
So, let's rank the Star Wars movies, like how would they rank for us?
Last Jedi. No, wait.
No.
Let's not rank
Why?
them.
Let's not, because it's gonna take too long. It's opinions.
Yeah,
His
that's the
opinions
point.
or-
Our opinions
or-
and we
how about
debate.
this?
Disagree.
How about we dive into something much easier to dive into, and by that I mean just because everyone expects us to do a top couple Star Wars movies, when in fact everyone knows The Last Jedi and The New Hope are probably some of the best ones. In any case,
So instead, why don't we do
we
this?
can probably
Why don't
go
we
on
say...
to go into some of the last. We can go on to The Last Jedi controversy, if anything, or we can go into different extended universe stuff and how Ryan Johnson's getting his own trilogy. The creators of Game of Thrones are getting their own trilogy, and it's going to be amazing.
So what I have a question is, why don't we start with the current timeline, mixed in, not counting comics, but counting all of the video type things that Star Wars has ever put out, including extended universe stuff.
So the movies and TV shows.
Yes.
Okay.
Which I actually know extensively. So we have 1, 2, and 3, of course.
We have 1 and 3. 2 was the worst one.
I know, but so you have 1. You have Star Wars number 1, The Phantom Menace, the one everyone hates.
Actually, I liked it for the music, and I liked it for the final fight. That was dope.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, but a movie
then
should not be a final fight.
Yeah, that's true.
Then we have number 2, which I found epic because even though they were CGI, the clones were still pretty damn cool.
I would prefer to watch Phantom Menace over that.
Then you have Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Oh God, right, the TV show, yeah.
The 2003,
the animated slice of life TV show. The animated TV show that's a slice of life.
It was beautiful. It ends. It starts sometime after number 2, and ends right as number 3 begins, zooming out of Coruscant, where you zoom back in for number 3. So it's beautiful. Speaking of which, next up is number 3.
The best prequel.
Revenge of the Sith. Then you have technically the Cartoon Network TV show takes place in between number 2 and number 3 as well.
Oh yeah, that Clone Wars.
Yeah. So, you have that. Then you have number 3. Then you have Rebels, which is canon.
Alright.
And you
Then Rogue One.
technically then Solo, I believe, came before Rogue One.
Yeah,
or-
Solo happens
Yeah.
before Rogue
Yeah,
One.
Solo will be
So
before
technically-
Rogue One.
But Solo hasn't come out yet. So
But it's in the product. They're making it. It's a movie basically already.
they're done making it.
Yeah. So Solo, then Rogue One, and then Rogue One comes right into number 4 the same way the Clone Wars that old TV show came into number 3.
And
Yeah.
then The Force Unleashed. Force Unleashed is not canon.
God, if it was though.
Oh,
Okay.
I wish it was.
Then there's 5 and
6. And then
And
The
then
Force
7.
Awakens and The Last Jedi.
Okay, cool.
I would just like to point out, whenever Tom mentions The Last Jedi, he always does this stupid thing where he gets really excited, so he puts his arms up.
I
But,
just do that.
Tom is so awkward that he doesn't know how to put his arms up in like a solid motion. So
I
it
also
just looks-
stretch.
It just looks like he's stretching, and it's just weird.
Honestly, most of the
Something
time,
like that.
Well,
honestly,
he is
most of
stretching, that's
most of the
fine.
time I am stretching.
No, but you were just like, The Last Jedi.
Yeah, because I really enjoyed that movie. Excuse me for getting hype. Why is my Skype making noises?
Because you're making noises.
On a slighter note, I think I just tore my rotator cuff. Intake. Tom.
Good job.
You just what? Tore your...
Tore my rotator cuff.
Good job.
Totally kidding, but I did hurt my shoulder really bad. That's why I'm out of shape. Anyway, Star Wars.
So Star Wars.
It's a Star Wars.
If you couldn't tell, Jesse is our resident Star Wars nerd because he knows so much about the extended universe. It's kind of scary.
Yep, even much more than I. Like, I pride myself on Marvel, DC knowledge. But Jesse's the Star Wars guy. Even though I don't want to say I'm close to him, but I'm very good with like cinematic stuff. Not much.
Mostly stuff created around the Old Republic game, as well as the Old Republic game itself, as well as some things after the fall of the Empire. Not like the biggest person, but I know a bit. So interesting fact for all you people out there who are in love with Grey Jedi. Interesting fact: it's not actually part of the EU.
Yeah, Grey Jedi are in canon, right?
Nope, non-canon either.
I thought Ahsoka
It's
was a Grey
completely
Jedi.
Fan-made.
Huh. Well,
Oh yeah, that's true.
but I
Grey
thought
Jedi is completely fan-made. It was never even part of the EU.
I thought Ahsoka is a Grey Jedi now.
Never by name.
Oh.
She technically is balanced with the Force, but she was never called a Grey Jedi by name.
Oh. I honestly didn't watch Rebels. I heard it was really good.
You need to watch Rebels.
You need to watch Rebels. I've
For all
only
you
seen
who are
bits and
watching,
pieces of it, but
Rebels is an amazing series that actually does better than the Star Wars, the Clone Wars series. It's so great.
Really?
Yeah, it just follows like a platoon of rebels that at first are on their own, but they kind of help really start the rebellion to such an extent where it's like one of the characters' names is actually mentioned in Rogue One in an announcement, and and the voice actress for Hera said that when she heard that she almost cried because her kids were with her and they were like, "Mommy," or they were like, "Isn't that your character?"
wait, Hera
That's
was
adorable.
named in
Yeah, Hera
Rogue
Syndulla,
One?
Captain Syndulla.
I missed that. Oh, that's so cool.
That's adorable.
Her and her kid, and then Sabine and Ahsoka going to go find Ezra wherever he may be. So that's very possible that in number 9 or so, we may see them, or eventually, because that supposedly takes place after the fall of the Empire, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, who's excited for Solo?
No.
Come
I
on.
am kind
No.
of.
Donald
Yeah.
Glover is Lando.
No.
Why are you not
One-
excited?
One great casting decision cannot save, an excitement for the movie. The reason
Wait.
I'm not excited, and I honestly can't really explain it, but from what I can gather from myself, is that the reason I'm not excited is that the trailers really did not appeal to me at all.
The trailers didn't really show him as Han Solo, the character. It wasn't really that same type of thing.
And like, I'm gonna be honest, if you didn't have the Star Wars theme, you didn't have the Millennium Falcon, and you didn't have in big yellow letters Solo, a Star Wars film, pop up at the end, like, I wouldn't know it's a Star Wars movie. That's not good.
Yeah.
Well, you got
Yeah.
Chewbacca.
Knowing that they're now making these single-person movies, who else wants to see Obi-Wan?
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
I would
I
love to
want
see
no
Obi-Wan
movie.
with
No,
you,
give us
with
Obi-Wan.
Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, absolutely.
yeah.
Who else?
Oh god,
with
Awesome.
Daisy Ridley as Rey, because Rey is Obi-Wan's granddaughter.
no, she's not.
No, her parents were nobodies.
But her grandparents.
I'm still thinking.
You know,
I'm
Ryan
still.
Johnson can pull something like that. I'm just gonna put that out there. He can legitimately say, I'm sorry, not Ryan Johnson. J.J. Abrams and the other director of Episode 9 could definitely reverse that a little bit if they wanted to. Like, okay, your parents were these people, but your grandparents were important.
Yeah, I also am sticking with the theory that she is Han Solo's daughter.
In words of Jean Valjean, you are wrong, and always have been wrong. Fuck you, Tom.
Wow, I like this theory, and I like how in the movie.
Because you
Okay,
know how
okay,
fucking obvious that would be. It's
Exactly.
Like, oh yeah, you're Han Solo and Leia.
They
Can I
alluded-
say something quickly,
they
Thomas?
they alluded to it so much in The Last Jedi.
You want to know what's funny? That statement you just said was completely wrong.
Every word of it.
Every word of that statement you just said was completely wrong.
What do you say?
What I said about Rey being Han Solo and Leia's daughter.
And
But
I just referenced
The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I just referenced The Last Jedi.
But the thing is, they alluded to it so much in the movie.
You want to know what else they allude to in the movie?
What? Porgs?
Obi-Wan?
Huh?
Porgs?
Obi-Wan having a connection with Rey
Porgs?
in the Vision?
Well, there's also a little bit of Luke and Yoda's voice in there, so that could just be a Force ghost.
Yep. Also, Yoda,
Either way.
having Yoda in The Last Jedi was just great.
That was awesome. And it
That
wasn't like the
was
stupid
awesome, great.
CGI one. It was the actual, like, old puppet.
Yes, thank God. No CGI Yoda.
That was awesome.
Yahoo!
I've
So
actually...
who's hyped for Episode 9, no matter what title it may be?
Oh, I'm excited.
Hey,
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
I'm hyped. It's the finale of this new trilogy of movies. And I can't see what they do.
They're planning
Alright,
on making more Star Wars trilogies. It's not ending here.
Yeah.
Predictions. Do we think Kylo Ren is going to die in Episode 9?
No.
Thank you.
I think he's
I do
gonna
not
turn.
think he's going to die.
Actually, will he?
I think he's gonna
If
turn.
he does, it's not going to be by Rey's hand. It's going to be by someone else.
Yeah, I think he's going to turn.
I think
Do I think we'll see more Jedi, perhaps, or more Force wielders in number 9? Yes.
I kind of hope they do a
That would
time
be
skip,
amazing.
like maybe a couple
Because
years.
we have yet to see the Knights of Ren.
Yeah.
We have yet to see Ahsoka, and we have yet to see the people who finished training Ahsoka. Because one thing that was never mentioned in Rebels is Ahsoka came back into Rebels as a fully trained, balanced Jedi, or whatever she was called. They never say who finished her training.
True.
That's true.
What was I going to say? I think, like, with spoilers for Episode 8,
Of course, this
3, 2, 1, with Snoke dead, and, like, a Kylo Ren becoming the supreme leader, his bodyguards are going to be the Knights of Ren.
Yeah.
So kind of like how Snoke had those, what were they called?
Praetorian Guards or something like that.
Yeah,
They were
those-
Can I
badass.
just say, not as badass as the original Imperial Guard.
Nope.
Because we didn't even see the original Imperial Guard fight, but you just knew they were badass.
So I think the Knights of Ren will be like that to him, and yeah, I wouldn't mind like at the end like Kylo turns and he uses leading the First Order as kind of a way to bring good to the galaxy. Because we all like my main problem with the Star Wars trilogies is it's always except for the first one, like but the last two, it's always like rebels against evil government, political organization that has control over the galaxy. Except for the first one where it's like the Jedi and the Sith were kind of like even, and there were more Jedi than there were Sith.
Oh, you're talking about like episode 1. I thought you meant like A New Hope. I was like, that doesn't sound right.
No, he's talking about first
So
trilogy timeline wise.
Yeah.
it would be like it would be an interesting concept for the next trilogy if the good guys had control over the galaxy, and then there weren't any like rebels. It was kind of just like a conflict within, and it led
versus the Empire.
and it yeah, kind of a thing, and it led to like a sort of civil war.
Because in the old Star Wars, the old times, it was the Republic versus the Empire. It was two major groups. Then it was the Republic versus the Separatists. Republic versus other people that used to be part of the Republic. Then the Rebels versus the Empire, and now the Resistance versus the 501st. Sorry, not 501st, First Order. So it would be very interesting to see a Republic versus Empire in actual movie form.
That would be pretty interesting.
Will they do it? The world may never know.
Probably not.
I also want to see Darth. I also want to see like the movie just for the movie adaptation of.
Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Thank
No.
you.
No. Wait, seriously?
Ironic.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be interesting.
Or even Darth Plagueis, just getting that in there would be amazing.
I want to see a movie of Darth Sidious on a loop, screaming "Unlimited power."
Unlimited
Dude, look at
power.
YouTube videos of it.
All right, as shitty as the prequels were, we got some good memes out of it. And I'm not saying
we don't like the prequels, but we love the memes.
I'm not saying that.
Let me rephrase that. We love the prequels for the memes that they give us.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm on the side of r/prequel memes, because there was a great meme war on Reddit with r/prequel memes and sequel memes. I'm not saying I'm on either side, but there's some good memes on both sides if we're being real. Like, did anyone else see that in March? The great meme war between those two?
I did not.
It was brutal. Like, they got so many other subreddits involved. It was kind of scary.
So can we get back to
Star Wars, yeah. But
Yeah.
I was gonna get back into Star Wars because another good meme is the sacred texts, which are with Rey, which is why I think we're gonna get a time skip for Episode 9, maybe like 4 or 5 years, and now in Episode 9 she's gonna be a Master Jedi against Kylo Ren, who has amassed this giant empire. And of course he'll have the Knights of Ren as his bodyguards.
You know what would be interesting if they want to go with the direction?
Hmm.
If they want to go for, if we're gonna follow this train of thought, then let's per se humor me here, where there's like, so Rey is a Master Jedi, Kylo is a Master Sith, we'll call him, and they all, like, between the both of them, they have an understanding, but they also have like I want to convert you to the dark, and I want to convert you to the light side. So they actively like meet up for a battle, and then before anything goes on, or like just before anything goes on, they try and convince each other one last time, and it doesn't work. But like midway through the battle, like someone takes the other one out of the fight, and then not even just like killing them, but just like incapacitating them for a little bit, and then they see all the war that they've caused. So maybe they just switch sides. Maybe they just call like a final armistice or something like that. That would be interesting.
So Civil War.
No, because it's a full-on war. but maybe something else happens there. But that would be really interesting to see like a full-on fight between them, like we've never seen them before, because people were expecting that from Luke in Episode 8, but that didn't happen. Instead, we got a half-assed fighting montage.
I feel like in the next movie, what might happen is the resistance that they have currently, what they've shown, it's very small. It's extremely small compared to the length of rebellion that we saw in the past.
Yeah.
So what I truly think is that there's going to be some sort of great equalizer, and what I think that equalizer is going to be is the First Order is going to be split in half through what's his face,
General Hux.
General Hux betraying Kylo Ren.
Honestly,
Okay,
I
I can
always
see
hated
that.
Hux anyway. Get that
The
bitch out
Empire
of there.
collapses on itself.
Yeah, a
No,
house
not
divided.
collapses on itself, literally splits in half. Kylo Ren taking like Force wielders and whatnot, and Hux controlling the First Order. However, Hux does seem a bit unstable.
A house
Just a
divided
little
against
bit.
itself cannot stand.
So I think that what might happen is if Kylo Ren is wavering the way they say he is, it's very possible that we might get Kylo and Rey going up against the First Order controlled by Hux.
That'd be cool.
Maybe, but we already saw them work together once. I think that's enough.
Okay.
Like Star Wars, like George Lucas said, it's a poem. It repeats itself.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to think of how the last two trilogies ended, and try and figure out what could happen based off those. Like there was a betrayal in Episode 3. So maybe there'll be a betrayal in Episode 9.
And a redemption in Episode 12.
Oh God. And in Episode 6,
There was a redemption.
there was a redemption, and a furry army defeated a army with great armor.
The Porgs will rise up.
Yes, the Porgs are the true villains.
The Porgs will rise.
The Porgs are the true villains. Calling it now.
Turns out Jar Jar Binks is alive and he's been secretly leading the Porgs.
Oh my God. With Rose as his second in command.
Oh, kill me. As long as Rose
Why?
is
Rose
there.
was great.
No, she was awful.
She could have been great. But her subplot wasn't great.
Oh, I hated her character. Nothing against the actress. Again, did great with what they were given. But
Yeah, she could have been so much better, if we're being real.
I hated that freaking smuggler.
Yeah, that I hated him.
Oh,
Okay,
DJ?
spoilers once again. Spoilers.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
3, 2, 1. It was a really good twist, though, because you expected, oh yeah, he's gonna be another Han Solo. He's gonna be the smuggler for this generation of heroes.
Nope. Benicio del Toro pulled it off well.
They should have made the Master Codebreaker, whatever the fuck it was. They should have made it Lando.
That would have been so cool. We haven't seen Lando
Sure,
yet.
Lando.
No, it shouldn't have been Lando in like the thing, but Lando should have been the one in prison with them. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
If like you hear the voice from the shadow and Lando comes out of the shadow, like, oh shit.
Yeah, because they did the voice and then someone stepped out of the shadow and I was just like, who the fuck are you?
I'm
If they-
Lando.
Actually, no. No, that's not what I was like. I was like, oh, look, it's Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
If they had I could help you, and then Lando stepped out, like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That'd be incredibly funny.
Last Jedi did have enough like oh shit moments, like when what's her face, the pink haired chick, shot her spaceship like a bullet into
Holdo?
Holdo.
Holdo's
That-
like, yeah, I can make this work.
That was fucking awesome. Just complete silence in the entire theater when it happened.
And the fact that, like, how they actually did the graphics to where it split the ships apart and all that space debris just popped the way it did.
She didn't have
it was
like
gorgeous.
pink hair.
Pink or purple, whatever it was.
Purple hair.
Pink. Pink.
Is this gonna
I
be like the
remember
dress?
having a weird hair color. You're talking
Holdo.
about the Admiral, right?
Yeah, Holdo.
Yeah,
Wait, Akbar, right? Akbar had pink hair?
Not Akbar.
Yes, Admiral Akbar at the
Yeah,
top.
right there.
Akbar. Yeah, that dude.
But I know we're talking about Last Jedi a lot, but it was a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. It was a really good Star Wars film.
Oh my
It's
god,
a very
that
good Star Wars.
fight between... Okay, so just overall, this episode of spoilers. Okay?
Yeah, you figured
So I'm
that.
not
The
gonna be saying it
DVD,
anymore. We're just
the
gonna say
DVD
stuff
came out in
about it.
April. No, March. The DVD came out in March. We're good.
That fight between Kylo Ren and Skywalker.
That was really cool, and I didn't
End
even
of it.
and I didn't even realize that he wasn't leaving footmarks. Like they kept showing it. I was like, wait a minute.
And then he disappears, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And people had a problem with the fact that he passed away without like anything killing him. But what people don't seem to realize is that in number 4, Obi-Wan wasn't killed by Vader. He saw that his time was up, and he disappeared into the Force before Vader's lightsaber hit.
Yeah.
When Vader's lightsaber hit, all it hit was the cloth. So that's the same thing and Luke did, and people had a problem with that because he died having a battle with his mind, and it was just stupid. He was old, and he overextended himself using the Force, so his powers were gone.
Yeah. There is one other problem I had with The Last Jedi besides the whole Rose thing. The underuse of Phasma. Like
Yeah, that's true.
they used her a little
Kinda wasted her
more.
character.
They used her a little more, but I'm pretty sure there's no way she's coming back for episode 9.
No.
There's
I wouldn't
no
be too sure about that.
There's no fucking way.
Yeah, fair enough.
She
but
fell into
at least
space.
at least we saw why she's a captain in this one.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
We
Let's
saw why, because she's a pretty epic fighter.
yeah, but let's try and talk about like the actual like more Star Wars stuff than Last Jedi because this could take a whole episode.
Yeah.
What's the point?
The original trilogy
Those three
is
movies.
Empire the best? Yes.
Empire Strikes Back?
Yeah. Empire is the best.
I mean, it's an opinion, not a fact, but
I
in
know.
my opinion,
I'm sorry, my favorite
Empire
color
is
is
the best.
green.
You like what?
Luke Skywalker having the green lightsaber.
That was pretty cool.
Same.
So number 6 has always been for me.
Return of the Jedi.
Kind of with that as well.
Like A New Hope was good, but compared to all the other Star Wars movies, but it did start everything. And I wish that George Lucas would stop with the special editions and give us the original theatrical versions. Because every time I watch A New Hope, I don't want to see CGI Jabba.
Oh, wait,
What
the
the-
original ones, were those
Puppets.
any of the specials I released, were those only DVDs when he released the specials?
Yeah, and the Blu-rays are special edition.
So
But don't you-
the videotape ones are in special edition.
No.
Don't you want to hear the sound effect of the stormtrooper hitting his head?
Yes.
The sound,
Yeah, but
the
that's the
sound effect that
only
was added?
change that you like. That's the only change I would like. Yeah, because I'm sitting here looking at Star Wars A New Hope, Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, and Star Wars The Return of the Jedi, box set of the 3 VHS tapes.
God damn. Like, I want to see his vision, but also CGI Jabba in A New Hope was so bad.
Wait.
Also that dance scene in Return of the Jedi.
No, that dance scene was alright. It added something to it.
Okay, yeah, that was pretty cool. I enjoyed the singing and dancing thing. It was a pretty good song.
Yeah, but we all know the best song from Star Wars is the Cantina song. Dun, 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 dun,
Do we have any
dun, dun,
requests?
dun,
Play the same song. Okay, we'll play the same song.
dun, 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 dun,
Did you know that in the books there's actually stories about those Cantina members and how they got to where they are?
Oh my god.
They
That's
were
amazing.
actually rebels at one point, and the Cantina they're in, the reason they're always there is because they're in hiding.
That
Well,
makes
that
a
makes
lot
sense.
of sense. Did you hear Jar Jar's story from after the
I don't want to.
He actually has a pretty sad story at the end.
What happened to him?
He ends up
lives.
he ends up
He
becoming
ends
a
up hanging in trophy thing somewhere in the Empire. We see that in Star Wars: The Force Unleashed.
He ends up becoming a street performer and dies when the First Order fires the what was it? Death Star, Death Planet? Star Killer.
Killer base.
Yeah. That he died on one of the planets that was killed by Star Killer base.
Yeah.
But he
What
ends
do
up
you mean, aw, good.
he ends up a street performer, and it's kind of sad.
Why is it sad?
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, but he dies lonely, alone, broken.
Fair
The
enough.
death he deserves.
Okay, could we just...
Misa, thank you, Sadush.
Let's talk about ships. One of my favorite things is I actually have 2 Legos here that I'd like to show. Can you just give me a second?
Wait, are we talking spaceships?
I thought you meant ships as in, like, Leia and Han.
Yeah, that's what I thought. No,
Leia and Luke for the win.
I swear to God. Bobby,
Have you ever seen
stop
the
right
national sibling day post, and it's just Leia and Luke kissing each other?
Ah.
Okay, so throughout the Star Wars series, we've seen a lot of different ships and stuff. My favorite, personally, has always been the X-Men. Wow, X-Wing. Sorry.
The X-Wing.
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 X-Wing! I mean, the First Order were Nazis.
And so
Nazis.
So it was one of the Legos that I've waited a very long time to get, and when I finally got it, was awesome. But before that, I got this. I'm not sure what the ship's name is. It's a red ship that is designed very much like the X-Wing, and it was from the Old Republic time period. Then, of course, you have the X-Wing.
Of course.
And then the new X-Wings.
Yeah.
However, there's a bit of a different ship that I'd like to talk about specifically after seeing The Last Jedi.
Millennium Falcon?
And that's the Y-Wing.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Very specifically, in the original trilogy, the X-Wings were the single fighter ships, the A-Wings were the smaller fighter ships, and the Y-Wings were the bombers.
Yeah.
In number 8, you see the Resistance's bomber fleet.
Yeah.
And during the entirety of every Resistance scene, although you see those bombers and they're not Y-Wings, you no longer see Y-Wings anymore.
I don't know.
They don't show up anymore. They're gone.
Probably cost a lot to, like, make that CGI.
Not even give me like an in-universe explanation that just says, you know what? Nah, it's just too expensive to
I'm
make.
here
The CGI
trying to start
right.
an intellectual conversation on lore and shit like that, and you're just not doing. You're not.
I mean,
I don't know the
But
lore
what's
as much as you.
What's plausible here? Do they like of all the ships that they just here? How many ships are? Let me rephrase that. The ships that the Rebels has are mostly like X-wings, A-wings, and a few other types of wings. Not only do we not see the Y-wing much, but we see like other
boneless wings.
There's 3 of them. There's 3 of them that we mainly see from the Republic. That's the X-wing, the A-wing, the Y-wing, and the other one that is based off of the clone troopers ships from the Republic time period. The T-wing. Not sure if that's what it's called, but it looks like a T.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
Call it T-wing, why not?
So
Why not? Huh.
I cannot carry a show by myself, people. Come on.
I don't know as much about the lore.
I don't know anything to say to that. I will be completely honest here. I don't know enough about Star Wars to even begin to ask that question, because that could just be fun. That could be the connotation of the actual wing, the bombing like the bombing shell they don't have anymore.
But it just shows how the Resistance was originally the Republic Army, right? Technically.
Yeah.
To an extent, yeah.
The Republic Army, since it was the Republic, and the kind of keep saying 501st, the First Order was originally a smaller thing than the Republic.
Yeah.
So it just shows you the shift, because when they were the rebellion, they needed to be able to hit hard and hit fast. The Y-Wing was an extremely fast fighter, as fast as the X-Wings, and they were able to lob proton torpedoes at the ships, and those were their bombs. They were the only ships that could do that, or the main ships that could do that.
Makes sense.
Now you have these slower moving ships because they are an army. They don't need to be able to get in and get out. They need to be able to fight large battles. So it just shows you the shift of how the rebellion became the resistance, and that is why the missions we see in number 8 fail so horribly, because they are trying to do things that the rebellion would have done without the technology that the rebellion had.
That actually
Thank
makes
you,
a lot
Jesse,
of
for
sense.
filling that in, because I would not have the scope of that at all.
Yeah.
Of course, this is just guessing, but
No, but that makes sense. Like with many things that we can theorize about, not even just Star Wars, just like through all of cinema, as long as there is sufficient evidence to suggest it, it's more than worth keeping an eye on.
Fair point.
the one question I do have, though,
Yeah.
is about the change of the Jedi ships in the secondary trilogy, the prequels. In number 1, the Jedi don't have ships.
Yeah.
Number 2, they do. They have the triangle ships.
Those are weird.
Then we start to see the change from triangle ships to the two-side ones in Anakin's ship from the Clone Wars, the 2003 TV show.
Yeah.
The Jedi starship with the huge engines on it. The question I have is, the new Jedi starships from number 3, are they really better than the ones from number 2?
I think they're more made for like actual intergalactic battles that will give the Jedi free roam to like pop out and just have fun and rip people apart if they have to. Because even in Episode 3, you had the first full scene where, just in the opening credits, Obi-Wan and Anakin just freely jump from, like, a pilot eject from their craft and right into battle. Maybe there's some degree of, like, versatility with the ships that allow them to just to have an efficient and very smooth battle where they can use the Force to accurately hit certain targets, and then they can also continue the battle no matter where you go afterwards.
So the ones from number 2 were mainly for peacekeeping things, which is what the Jedi did, and the ones from number 3 are more for battles.
Yeah, and that would keep to the lore too, because Jedis are peacekeepers, but they're also very short-sighted peacekeepers, because the entire thing is that the Sith and the Jedi really are not different at all. They they're just two sides of the same coin, and quite frankly, the Jedi always are very short-sighted with the Sith, which is also partially why Anakin's downfall happened. If we're talking, because let's put it this way, while I will say that the prequels were not as great, it's only because George Lucas, I love you, man, but you can't do dialogue between characters. It's just, especially a love story. You can't do that. You should have pardoned that off to somebody else.
What do you mean
There's a
he
love story in the
can't?
prequels?
What do you mean he can't? Isn't it so romantic to say, I don't like sand? It's coarse, rough, gets everywhere. See, I just gave a better acting job than Christian
It's not bad
Slater.
to write that in a script. It's bad to make it work.
Yeah.
On an actual
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
female.
How did she die? She died of heartbreak. Boy, what?
No.
No, she died because you choked her right before she had her baby. You weakened her body, and then the weakened body could not handle the giving birth.
She died from heartbreak.
I just watched Cinema Wins for it, so I'm going to bring it up and just take it with a grain of salt. They brought the guy who did Cinema Wins brought up a good point that when Anakin gets built into Vader, Palpatine says that Palpatine wasn't there at the event where Anakin choked her out, so he wouldn't have known about her being hurt or her dying. So what if Palpatine took the very last of her life away from her, so that way she would die, and then Vader would have the anger to be born again?
Either that, or Palpatine had a spy on the ship where Padme gave birth, and that's how he knew the news so quickly.
That's no fun.
Yeah, but at the same time, it would make sense.
Also, that instantaneously? Actually, yeah, communicators, I suppose, would work.
You're
Order
right.
66.
I do like
That's true. Never mind.
I do like how in the Darth Vader comics recently, Vader found out that Palpatine lied about Padme, and like he found out he has a son and daughter, and he got so mad he was just clenching his fist and cracked the
Oh, yeah, I
window
saw
he was
that.
looking out of, and I was like,
Yeah.
yo, that's so fucking cool.
And it was super funny because it was right after he sent Boba Fett out to actually scout to bring him Skywalker.
Yeah.
To bring him the random rebel that destroyed the Death Star. And then he reported back that his last name was Skywalker. And then, as Thomas said, there was like the closing frames of the comic where he just clutches his fist, and then the entire like screen in front of him, which is like the main, like was like the ship, which is like one of his private rooms, just cracked, and it was beautiful. Oh my god, that was masterful.
It really was so good. Like the comics recently, they're really good. Like they fill in some gaps and they give off like they develop the characters more than the movies. Like further
Which
than
should
the
say
movies.
something.
But that's because these new comics that are coming out are meant to be supplements instead of extra stories.
Yeah, but they're also doing extremely well to actually like back up the story. Per se,
Yeah.
like we need to correct some stuff that maybe might not have happened that should have happened or otherwise. Like that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, honestly, Star Wars is just developing more and more. I kind of want to see a Yoda movie, if I'm being real.
But then they'd have to have Yaddle as well, which would require them to make a whole new Muppet.
Yes, do it, do it.
If no one knows, Yaddle was a member of Yoda's race, a female, who was on the Jedi Council, who trained with Yoda at the same time as him, was on the Council, was basically like a lot like Qui-Gon Jinn, was thrown off the Council, and was banned from the Jedi Order.
Exactly. Would a movie about Yoda Yoda training with her and learning about being a Jedi, would that not be a cool movie? Just what he did his life before Qui-Gon brought in Anakin.
It would also answer a very big question.
Which
Now,
one is that?
yes, a lot of people have seen that. A lot of people said, okay, well, the different lightsaber colors are specific to the three different types of Jedi.
Yeah.
And I know that the three different types of Jedi are extended universe, so they don't technically count anymore. However, Yoda was very strong in the Force, but we've seen him fight. He's a pretty damn good fighter too.
Yeah.
So the question is, he wasn't a Sentinel. It's extremely obvious that he wasn't a Sentinel. In fact, we never actually get to see a Sentinel in the movies because that's just how good they are, but I'll get to that later. Was he a Consular, or was he a Guardian?
Do you mind explaining those?
Okay.
Yeah, please explain those.
So there's the three types of Jedi. I'll talk about my favorite one first, just to get them out of the way. The Sentinels. Have you ever seen a Jedi with a yellow lightsaber?
Yes.
Yes, it's in Star Wars Rebels actually.
Okay, in Star Wars Rebels, a Jedi, like an actual Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, who was it?
Well, I'm not gonna tell you who it is because it would be a spoiler. Like, it's legitimately a spoiler if I tell you who it is, or it's kind of like a really cool backstory to one of the characters. So I'm not gonna say it. Long story short, it's just like they have the actual character in the armor with the actual lightsaber in hand with doing the training. So it's very cool. But I can tell you it's there.
That's extremely helpful for this thing. Either way, basically, the reason you don't see that many of them, the reason you don't see that many of them is because the Sentinels were almost the spies of the Order. They did every single thing possible before using their lightsaber. If they could get a mission done without using a lightsaber, that was a perfect mission. They made use of blasters, thermal grenades. They went out and did the dirty work of the Jedi Order. And after Order 66, a good portion of the Jedi that remained in the extended universe were Sentinels, because they were so hard to find and so hard to kill.
Makes sense.
Okay. Then on to the two important ones for this conversation, the Guardians and the Consulars. Guardians usually had blue lightsabers, and Anakin, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon Jinn, technically, Luke, they could all be considered Jedi Guardians. Because they were the peacekeepers. They were basically the police type people. They went out, they kept peace. They were the main fighting force. And they took up a good portion of the Jedi in the Jedi Order. Then, finally, you had the consulars. They were the librarians, the ones who did research, and they were the ones who were most powerful in the Force.
Librarian.
And they usually carried green lightsabers.
So that
Yoda.
would be Yoda, counselor in theory.
In theory, however, we've seen him fight extremely well.
Yeah, but wouldn't the counselors know how to use the lightsaber?
Yes, they would, but a consular would rely mostly on the use of the Force.
Not necessarily a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in that battle where Yoda is fighting Count Dooku, Yoda and Count Dooku have that little battle using the Force. However, after that, that's always Sith. After that, Yoda only uses his lightsaber. If he was a consular, you'd think that he would continue to use the Force during the fight the same way Dooku did when he fought Anakin and Obi-Wan, which leads me to believe that Dooku, when he was a Jedi, was a counselor, or a consular.
Makes sense. Honestly, I don't know much about Extended Universe. I just know people got really pissed off when they were considered Star Wars legends.
I was one of those people.
Yep.
But I've learned to get over it because just because that stuff isn't canon anymore doesn't mean we can't talk about it.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean we can't theorize that Disney might bring it back at some point because they brought Ahsoka back, so everything still has a chance.
Yeah, like, I love Star Wars, but the community is so fucking toxic.
The community for Overwatch is maybe not even Overwatch.
The Overwatch community,
video games too, is completely toxic as well.
The Overwatch community is so toxic. The comic book community is so toxic.
That's also probably why Last Jedi received a lot of negative reception in the first place.
Yeah. Just
like, oh, it's not Star Wars. We're like, no, it's Star Wars. It's just not Star Wars you know. And quite frankly, that's why they brought in Rian Johnson for it. Although now J.J. Abrams is being handed it back now. So we'll see what J.J. does.
J.J. Abrams also had made a statement about, I'm going to have to fix the series now. Screw him.
God,
He actually said that?
I think I'd heard it somewhere that he said
I'll
something
have
like that.
to
That people are expecting him to, and that now that he's given the series back, he's going to have to fix it. I've heard people say that. I'm like, really?
I really hope he didn't say that, because I'll lose respect for JJ.
I don't think he said that. I think people have said that about him, though.
Okay, as long as he didn't say it, because then I'll lose respect for him.
Yeah, I don't think he specifically said that, because why would you say that about another director
who he's friends with?
Yeah, so I don't think he said that, but...
No, it's not. It wouldn't be right for him to say it either.
Well, either way, I've been talking a lot. What information can you guys give to about Star Wars?
That, since we're getting close to the time, because we're 48 minutes in, I want to, discuss, I said that the community is toxic, but there are people that are not toxic.
Yeah, like us.
Yeah, the toxic people are louder. I've met so many Star Wars fans that are great people. But we need to speak...
the Legos.
Yeah, we buy the Legos. We play the Lego Star Wars games. We need to... Those of us that aren't toxic, we need to speak up more. Did you see this guy from the alt-right took The Last Jedi and cut out every scene where a female character was important, and the movie was 45 minutes long. He made a supercut of the movie where the important female characters were not there.
So he's not a Star Wars fan. He's just a dickhead.
How long was the movie? It was an hour and 30 minutes, right?
The actual movie was an hour and 45. No.
That's about half the movie. That's pretty damn good.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna look up how long the actual movie is.
But that's not the point here.
I know. I'm saying if that was the point he was trying to make, like, oh, this movie's like really equal and shit like that.
No, he's from the alt-right. His whole point was to show that female character, like, he thinks that female characters aren't important. The actual movie is 2.5 hours long. He cut it down to 45 minutes. He basically took.
There was probably some parts in there he got wrong, but whatever.
But yeah, like, his whole thing was, oh, see what they're doing? Like, they're pushing men to the back. Like, men don't have rights anymore. He was one of those fucking assholes. And if there are people in our comment section who are like that, go fuck yourself.
It's just been it's always been that way with
Like
Star Wars.
the video, but go fuck yourself.
Star Wars has the female characters in Star Wars have always been badass.
They have. Leia was fucking great. Speaking of Leia, did you hear who might play her in episode 9 just for her death scene at least? Meryl Streep.
Huh.
Well, we'll see.
I could see it because her and Carrie Fisher did look similar.
At least for her death scene.
Yeah, because they're gonna have to kill off Leia. There's no way they're keeping her around. She's gonna have to. I feel like with the time skip, they could easily skip over that. Like, they could have a voiceover like, unfortunately, after we escaped the First Order, and
her wounds from the explosion took hold.
Yeah, after Luke sacrificed himself, the pain of losing her brother and her first love was too much, and she passed away.
No, because you can't do that, because that's just another dying of a broken heart shit.
Yeah, well, that's Star Wars MO.
Han, yes, but not for Luke, because Luke didn't die, he passed into the Force.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, she's also old. The explosion could have taken hold, and
that's what I think more like.
That's why I think they need to do a time skip for episode 9. They could kill her off within that time skip and explain it in the movie, like, yeah, the bomb, like, she couldn't take it anymore.
They should have just killed her off in episode 8.
Yeah, but then they would have killed off 2 major characters, Luke and Leia.
So?
They're killing them off in order of their appearance. Han Solo, well, backwards from their appearance. Han Solo was the last of the original 3 to be introduced, so they're killing off Han, then Luke, then Leia.
Damn.
It's a poem. It repeats itself.
Oh shit! I didn't even realize that.
Boom.
I would also just like to say ripperoonie to George Lucas's original idea, because it would have been amazing. His plans for the original trilogy, for if this were for another trilogy were to, or like the ending of this one were to have Luke train Leia, and then for Luke to die off, and Leia to become a Jedi, and her to lead the Order.
That would be pretty interesting. But I'm glad they went with what they did go with.
Bobby, Ray, are you two alive?
No.
Edwin's playing Fortnite.
Oh man. Well, this is pretty cool.
Shit. I'm mad at Tom because he has a meeting at 5:45, and because he has a meeting at at 7 o'clock. He has a meeting at 7 o'clock. Because he has a meeting at 7 o'clock, he's not going to get food till 5:45. Because he's like, because then I could just go right to the meeting. Well, that is valid. He also has not eaten all day. Neither have I.
I had Sprite.
Thomas. Tom,
and you need to wait for him?
Yeah, I like having company.
All right, save it for after I end the recording, Bobby.
Yeah. Oh shit! You exist. You're not just a faceless screen.
I do.
Yeah,
sorry.
Ryan turned on his camera.
Wait. Let me go back to being a Force Ghost. Hold on.
Nah.
I just wanted to tell our viewers how much of a terrible sweet mate and friend Tom is.
Boy, don't even fucking go there.
Someone needs to
Wait, okay, so now we need about 5 more minutes of footage to
hold on.
replace what's going to be cut here.
Did anyone see like the Tom Hardy Stormtrooper deleted scene?
No, but that sounds pretty cool.
So what happens is, okay, I can't even. I'll try and share screen it. Hold on.
All right, but
really.
Okay.
Wait, actually, you won't even hear audio. Never mind.
Yeah.
I'll just describe what happens in it. So, like, so Ray, the what's the dude's character? What's the Barter's character's name? I completely forgot. Benicio del Toro's character.
DJ.
DJ.
Thank you. So, Rose, Rose, Finn, and DJ are all in the elevator, like going, like ascending upwards, and then there's a stormtrooper behind Finn that just keeps on looking at him and like leaning up to him, and then Finn plays it off. He's like, "Is there a problem, soldier?" He's like, "You're." The soldier goes, "You're FN." He recognizes him like the full stormtrooper name and everything. And my thought, and then it's super funny because Rose gets her hand on her blaster, ready to turn around and shoot the guy and kill the stormtroopers, but Benicio del Toro's character puts his hand on her hand to stop her from bringing up the blaster. Keep in mind, and through this entire thing, the stormtrooper is just like keeps on talking with Finn, and like really delays the tension to such a dramatic point where we think what's going to happen. But then he just backs off and says, "By the way, sorry for calling you that. I didn't think you were like commander material or whatever." And it was like such a really funny scene because it builds up a lot of tension and then just breaks it immediately. But it's Tom Hardy playing the stormtrooper. It's quite funny.
That's cool.
Basically, a guy that didn't know that FN, whatever his number was,
FN 2187.
And said thought that he would never amount to anything more than a stormtrooper, and then seeing him as a commander.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, it's really funny.
All right. I think
nice,
it's time to end the video.
So don't forget to use the Force and like that hit button.
And may the Force be with you.
Also, Tom sucks.
May the Force be with you.